Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so good to be back. Let's jump into this disclaimer. The content presented on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are solely those of the presenter and are based on publicly available information. Investing and trading involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. It's all about Bitcoin today, baby. All right. Look at us. Look at us. We are finally. You see that? We are finally breaking above our RSI momentum trend line. And as, of course, Bitcoin is breaking up, guess who's breaking down? That would be USDT dominance. We got a breakdown happening over here on USDT dominance. Let me just darken this line up right here so we can see that a lot better. We're getting that breakdown right there, baby. Looking pretty good after coming up in the resistance after Bitcoin consolidating for a while to find, to round out a bit because it's not a V-shaped recovery. It's not a V-shaped recovery, but we did understand that we were at some support. At some support. I showed you the many ways that we could calculate out the support level down here for Bitcoin. One was the extension here down to this golden pocket. The other is the measured move from this rising channel formation right here. This is how I'm referring to it. You can refer to it as a bear flag if you choose to, but for me, technically it extended way too far to be considered a bear flag, and that's the measured move for the ascending channel down here to this lower end here. We also have, which I don't have on. Mercy me. I was playing around with a little long entry after we got that pump yesterday off of the soft CPI data there. Let me just open up some more noise because we need more noise in our life, right? We need more noise in our life. So here, of course, our VWAP in here and the support levels over here. I like to turn this off to make it a lot clearer for you to be able to see what we're working with. So we're working with 2021 highs in here as support for the price of Bitcoin. And two, this channel formation here, which price has been in for a very, very, very long time. I know the highs have been very respectable in here. The lows is something that we're challenging right now. So we're trying to see if this channel formation with the low of the channel will actually work the same way it works at the upper end here. Don't really know right now, but we are responding to it pretty decently in here, I would have to say. So you saw the question, is this accumulation? I mean, undoubtedly it is. Every time you go to some YouTuber channel that's crypto related, they're talking about buying. So it is an accumulation, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't go to every channel and say, I'm buying at these prices. I'm buying here. And then, of course, we saw where we had that nice little wick off the bottom before we started putting that bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, which is another indication of accumulation, okay, of accumulation. So looking pretty decent in here thus far. Again, I do like this breakup. Can things change? Always and forever they can change. Let me get rid of some things over here. I don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. I just want to see this right here plainly. Push that up right there. I'm being defensive. At the same time, I'm being defensive. So I have my crosshairs down here with the ascending trend line from the lows of 2022 that connect to a 2023 low, and then also this just extending out. Is this? Let me see where that dot is at. Okay, yep, just extending out this flag formation that we had in here, or I would call it a megaphone pattern, as you can see with the lower lows in here and the descending top. I would say that that's a megaphone pattern. Um, So being defensive in case something like that happens, because we can always roll over. Of course, the first area of resistance coming in here for Bitcoin is going to be around that $65,000 level in here, back into these lows here. One of the beautiful things about where we got the bounce from for this daily is here. So if you turn off your wicks and just focus on your line chart, and you come right here underneath to that low right there, you're going to see that's your holding zone right there. That's your holding zone right here. So nice move on Bitcoin, continuing to put in these bottoming wicks down here. Wick, 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 long. Long and strong. You got more wicks on your bottoms down here than you do on your tops. Okay, so you got more back end than you do up front. Let's put it like that. All right. So nice move here for Bitcoin in the money right now. I added the money on my option right now because I do have a call open here on Bitcoin. So I still out of the money on that with a day left. Um, so before it expires. But Bitcoin's looking pretty decent right in here. Looking pretty nice in here. Now, can we come up a little bit and then come back down and back test? Yes, we can. I just want to change this. I don't want that to. Just want to lighten it out. I found that it was starting to bug me. I went in and changed my code on it, but I realized it's bothering me a little bit. So yeah, got that out of the way. This was our low here. As far as momentum was concerned, you know how we're always looking for a break and then a reclaim. So a swing failure here on the momentum here from the low of the $60,000 level. So if you don't see it on price action, you can't find it on your RSI. You can't find it with the momentum swing failure. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. But we're looking pretty good. I'm excited. See if we can't. My whole thing is, can Bitcoin? I want to see Bitcoin get past that 65. I want to see Bitcoin get in here to about 71 is what I've been calling for. I think the last time I mentioned it, I had to reduce that target a bit, and it's getting to where I might have to reduce it even a little bit more. But I was wanting to see it either, one narrative was to get into here, but I think we've come down to. No, it's not that. I know I said 65, but let's go with 68. So the narrative would have to be 68 at this point. Um, but first area of resistance is going to come in at 65. And if we can push into 68, that's going to be great. So you got this triangular formation down here at the lows also. So let's watch out for this. Right now we have, I'll just use this for an example here. So we got a 1, 2, 3, and then we can get into here. If this is a low, then we will break out on 3. If not, maybe we do a 4, a 5 back here, and then we break it to the upside. Okay, coming up here towards the 68, which is going to be in here where we got this breakdown. So let me drop that off right there. Let's spread this open so we can see. So coming back in towards this. So I'm going to darken this out a little bit right here, and I'm going to extend it here. That's close. I would look to see if this doesn't hold as some sort of a resistance through here. I would give that a shot. Because it could. We could back test it just like that. So even though I'm throwing out these numbers to the upside, we're still going to need to focus on the resistance. So again, we know 65 is going to be a resistance area. We can see that one clearly. But if we get past that 65, what next? Next, what then? 67, 68, something like that could be next. And if it happens in this fashion right here, great. If it happens with us just being able to push through here and just break out on the first on the yeah, on the first attempt of this confirmed trend line here, um, that's even better in my opinion, for my sake. So I like that. I'm gonna delete that. That's just a scenario in here for Bitcoin in its current state. Let me pull this one out right here. So I'm back to using our daily levels. These are the same daily levels that we were working with before. I added in these three, but these were the daily levels that we were working with before. And when we got this sell off here, we just broke through all of them. We got some reaction around this one right here, a little bit of a reaction right in there, but for the most part, we just completely broke through all of them, even through the value area low, before finding our support down here. So, I mean, yeah, just slap these back on the chart. I didn't realize this particular day when we were looking for that short entry that we were actually at this resistance point, because I had turned them off and I wasn't working with them anymore. And then I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday evening after stream or something like that, I turned them back on. I was like, oh crap. Oh crap. Yeah. We're back. We're so back. We're still coiling on the 4 hour time frame, so volatility levels are low. It does suggest that price action can come back. As I was just pointing out to this high, that is your volatility range here on your 4 hour time frame, which is what we're on. You can see that clearly if you were to put on. Let me actually put on the Bollinger Band itself, as I'm using something else right now. Here we go. Yep. So you can see what your volatility range is, high and low. So this suggests that price action can come up here and take out this high. Will that be a rejection area for what we just looked at, which was this right here? Could that be your rejection area like that? And let me darken this up. My bad for not having you over here on Bitcoin. I do apologize. But could this be your rejection area coming up right here? So let me just start that over again. I realized that I had just stuck on USDT dominance. But if you could hear me, I'm talking about your volatility range in here for your 4 hour time frame. You can see it's tight in here right now, and it's going to get to a point to where it breaks out or breaks down. So with that said, we know that resistance is here, even with the tight range in here. Even with this tight range in here, we got the resistance of the horizontal level right here as well. So questioning if we're going to do something like this. Well, we had that one. That's two. This three, or if you want to use your letters, you can use your letters. Will we come here and reject? Like so, or will we break out on the first attempt? That's what I'm questioning right now. If we reject, then maybe we can come all the way back down here towards the low of this pattern formation. If we don't come all the way back down to the low, that's even better, because that shows that momentum is rising and not dropping. Okay. So however it happens, maybe we get one more push down here. This is 5, or maybe you say E, and then we can see a breakout. And the only reason why I'm pointing to this is because the 4 hour, not the 4 hour, but the daily time frame has broken momentum to the upside, as USDT dominance is broken momentum to the downside. Okay. So that's why I'm looking at that. But you can see the volatility range in here again suggests that price action could come up here. Will the resistance hold or will we get the breakout? That is the question. That is the question. Moving down to our 1 hour time frame, you can see this little formation in here as we are hovering around resistance, and you can see it right here as well. We are currently hovering around some resistance right here at our lower level for our these are daily zones of support and resistance. With that breakout yesterday off of that soft CPI, nice break to the upside here off of that soft CPI number. And then, of course, our rejection yesterday with a little bit of an inverse in here. If you can see that 1, 2, 3 candle formation right here. So this is a nice candle formation right here. Nice candle formation right there. That 1, 2, 3. And then let's push back up. And we just started to trying to make this attempt to get this breakout, but we are facing some resistance right here. And you can see it again down here on the RSI with this momentum line here across here. So could put in a little bit of a recovery from here. I'm not looking to short right now. Bulls are in control on the 1 hour time frame. Bulls are in control on the 15-minute time frame. We're still neutral on the 4 hour time frame, and bears, of course, are still in control on the daily time frame. So, if anything, it would be ideal to look for a pullback to enter into a long for a continuation up, given the change of behavior on the daily time frame. And that's just on the RSI alone. That's based on momentum. We do have to see how things go when market opens, but nonetheless, we're hanging in there, baby. We're hanging in there. All right, so this is your 1 hour, and back over in here. This is just me. Yesterday, I was looking to a long entry in here after we got this cool off right here. Trying to front run it, to be honest with you, instead of allowing price action to simply just break and enter based on that. I was trying to do like a fulfill of the inefficiency right here, which is why that's like that. And I mean, it held. It held. That's all I can say about that is it held and it's moving up. So I'm slong. I'm slong. I'm in my short and my long at the same time. The way I'm doing it as I hedge, because I don't really know what I want to have the clear sign. Like I have that momentum break now. That's great. I want to have the clear sign of me adding on either side, and then cutting the one. So for my strategy, when price goes up, I'm still making half more on my long than on my short. When price goes down, I'm still making half more on my short than my long. So I walk away in profit either way it goes. And a lot of times I do that where I take half of the profit anyway, and the rest may end up going back to the market as I'm trying to leave a runner. So I'm not worrying about that part. So one of my longs is going to be in profit. My long is either going to be in profit or my short is going to be in profit. And that's how I'm doing it until we actually start to break structure on either the 4 hour or the daily. And then I'll drop one. And that's how I'm doing it. And at that point I will add. So that's how I'm going to work that. But I'm schlong. I'm schlong. Am I strong? I don't know. Again, hidden resistance in here. I don't have those levels on, those zones on here on the 15-minute time frame because it looks really noisy. So I don't have them on over here. But again, we are hitting the resistance in here right now at these highs. As I shared with you right here, we are hitting the resistance right here at this high point right here into this block right here, hitting resistance. And again, can be seen on the RSI right here as well, that we're hitting some resistance for correction back down. And then we'll see if we're going to keep that momentum going and get that push up. We do still have to confirm on that daily too, and that's going to be with a daily close. So just hanging on to that shalom for now. But hitting some resistance in here. And you can see the structure right in here too, how we're bending. All right, let me just get rid of that. Get rid of that. Here's another thing that I was looking at. Let me take volume away for a sec in here. Here's the other thing that I was looking at yesterday. Um, so as above, below, or so below as above, however you want to say it. But remember this, when we got this, when we got this breakdown in here, this is what we look like on the formation, like this. And we got this breakdown right here. And so we did the same thing on the opposite end here. We did the same thing, which is common in Elliott wave. So as below, so as above, below. And then we back test. And then we back test. And then we dump, and then we pump. So it's above, below. And then the other thing right here, now while you can't see it really from, you can see how it back tests right here. So while you can't see it from how this line is drawn, you can see it if I were to do it. And I don't want to move my line, so I'm just going to do it like this. You can see it like this. And you can see your back test. Just like that. Because Elliott is all about symmetry. It's all about symmetry. So while CPI data, that soft CPI number helped technicals, it just confirmed, to be honest. That's how I see it. I see it as a confirmation of the technicals and not actually the reason why we did see that push to the upside. It absolutely helped. It accelerated things, but you can see it in the technicals as well. All right. So that's that. And that's what we're looking like, baby. So as above, below. All right. Back test and go. Just like again over here. Just like that. So at the moment, this is looking three wavy. At the moment, this is looking very three wavy. Very three wavy. I'm going to stay out of the, because I already have something going on. It's possible to take a short from here, though. It is possible to take a short from here, as it is resistance. And overall, the picture on the daily time frame, I mean, bears are still in control on the, from the 4 hour down, bears are still in control. So taking the short from here, it's practical. It's practical. But then you have to worry about where you put your stop loss at. Do you need to put let me make sure that's still our daily. It's not. Let me move this because I have not updated that. Ooh, great. We actually took out that little liquidity. A little liquidity. All right, I'm put this back over here. 15. All right, so trying to come back down that prior day. It's not a swing failure, not from a 15-minute time frame. Possibly called a swing failure from another time frame, though. Not there. You can call it a swing failure right here. You can call it a double swing fail. A tap, a break, another break. Yeah, you can call it that here. You won't be able to call it that here. So if you were doing it, maybe, let me see. If you were taking a short, and let's just kick it off from where it is, what would you look like? Probably that high right there. That's kind of close. So it's a 59.99. Let me see. I have to raise that up some. I moved it. I just want to see. Yep, 92. You would have to do something more like that. It's not exactly taking out that high, but dum, dum, dum. And you would be looking for price action to get some sort of an expansion. I'm just going to push it back into here. So it'd be a 2 to 1. I wouldn't go for a 3 to 1 because I'm not really looking for structural breaks. Let me see what that is. Let's take away this one here where we got that 786 bounce. It would be something like this. Let's push this a little bit further. Let's push it down to here. It doesn't guarantee anything, um, but it does make it a little bit better in here uh, because like that. Yeah. So something like this could work. I would look to either TP at these highs. First TP would be a 1 to 1. Um, and then you start to push your luck. And that's my opinion. You then start to press your luck. But it hasn't broken yet. We are still chopping up here around this previous day high, so do bear that in mind. Um, it's probably a B minus setup. I'm gonna give it a B minus setup. Risk reward is not, it's pretty decent. 2 to 1 is pretty decent. Prefer 3 to 1s better. And then, of course, like I said, we know that we're chopping at some resistance in here. Nothing is broken right now. And then you would have to start taking out kind of early. 1 to 1 again is going to end up being like right around this high right here. From what I can see, that's probably going to be like a 1 to 1 right there. And then, of course, then reduce the stop loss for something like this for you. And while we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at Zcash and Hyperliquid. Those are the two altcoins I'm really giving some of my time to here lately. I closed out my Hyperliquid long position as we got the break below our lower trend line here because we were looking at the fact that it was wedging. I was telling you how you could draw it out from here just to confirm because I think I had to move this line right here a few times. And so I shared with you on the last stream that you could do it like this right here. But I was using this because of the tightness in here. It was getting tighter and tighter, even though I had to move the line a few times. So in here, I closed out the long position on Hyperliquid, which I did catch somewhere in here. I caught it because I remember saying to you on that Friday that I was going to be looking to take a long. I was being a little bit patient on it, so I caught it somewhere in here and rolled it up and closed it out right there. We've only been sideways in our weekly level. Also, this was the 382 50% retracement level right here. So 382 50% retracement. I was looking for price action to come back into here for the rejection. It looked like we were just going to try to keep going. It really, really did. But I could see the squeeze happening in here. And it had a little bit of room. It couldn't go to the 618 if this is going to be a wave 4. If this is going to be a wave um, for another push back down. And here on our upper end, right here, Let me take that away so we can see less of that. Um, Here on our upper end, I was saying that I think we could come back down into here about 230, about 230 to about 195. 200 has been a strong level for Zcash. It's been a strong level. That's why I took my long at the last time when we got this big move up here. I took my long off of that 200. So 200 is a strong level. You do have an ascending trend line down here on the around this 200 zone down here as well. The lower end of 200, so 230 to about 195. That is what I would be looking for if this is a wave 4 and we're going to get a wave 5 down here to finish this out before Zcash starts to find some sort of footing down here. That's what I would look for. All right, so that's that. And then, of course, this is an urgent area right here, though. So below here, it's garbage. It's garbage below that red zone. Below that red zone, Zcash is in trouble. Okay, but it's been holding steady, so I'm impressed. But that's Zcash for you. You think it's done and it's not. I'm gonna take this away because I don't need that. But you can see the weekly level in here, 404. It's that 449 to 404 right here, and then the next level in here, 482.07 to 261.40. But that's not the one that I'm looking at because if it's a wave, if it's this is a wave 4 that we're still just chopping around in, which we don't know when it's going to come to an end, you will be looking for that low to be taken, which is why I'm looking down here towards this 230 to 195. Right, and this is hype. I was hoping yesterday. You got the golden pocket right here, and of course I dropped this down here, looking for price action to come down here towards the lower end of the 618 here. So it would be closer to my weekly level, because we did start to break these right here. We were holding on to the previous week. I did take a long position off of this yesterday. I ended up not taking profits right here. And I was doing, every time I'm trying to trade and I'm doing a job, it doesn't work. I was doing a job yesterday, and I'd actually taken this as I was heading out the door. So I was on the road also, which wasn't helpful. So by the time we did come up here and back test this trend line, it was too late for me. I didn't manage to take any of the profits out of it. And yeah, I gave up a little bit. I gave up a little bit because instead of me walking away with some capital off of that move right there, because I did take it, instead of me walking away with some capital, I ended up giving some capital after I missed everything. So, ooh, be careful with the time that you have to trade. That's for sure. Be careful with the time that you have when it comes to trading. Because I wasn't looking for us to just break back down below here. I wasn't looking for us to break back down below this wick right here. And we did. So still waiting. I'm interested right in here. I knew that this right here was a support level right in here because of the ribbons. So let me see. Yeah. So if I put us on, I think it was on my daily time frame. Yeah, it was my daily time frame. So I knew that this was a support level as I was looking for this long entry right here. I just figured it was going to break through it. I know I'm looking for it to break a long way down. I know. I know. I'm looking for it to break a long way down um through this wick, but you can see how it did it over here. So I figured, but it's holding on to it right now. So that kind of sucks on my end. I didn't want to re-enter again either on Hyperliquid. Not from there. So I wanted it. I wanted it to, yeah, I wanted it to wick it and come here, and then that would have been better confirmation for me to be like, yeah, got a nice little long here possibility here for Hyperliquid. So we'll see. I know if Bitcoin gets a pullback, then it's more than likely to get a pullback too. Um, We'll see. I would like that wick through there, and to actually tap into here close towards this weekly level. Because it didn't even hit the golden pocket period. It front ran the golden pocket and bounced clean off of the 28, which means it bounced away from 40, which is not bad. That's not bad. So on the daily, we're going to see it bouncing away from 40. So you can see right above here. So the RSI must have actually tapped into 40 and bounced away from it right here. It could be gearing up for a push back up higher from here. I hope not, because that means I've missed it. I missed it. But and that happens sometimes. I'm looking for a certain level specific, and so I don't get the move, and that's okay. That's okay. But this thing owes me some money. It owes me some money. So I was being extra cautious this time. Like, you owe me some money. I'll get my revenge later. I want a revenge trade while I'm in the heat of it. In the heat of it. But that's what we're looking like for. You can see where we're back testing to. If you were using your EMAs, this would be your 200. So you're back testing on the 200. Actually, let me take this away. These I use those for the RSI specifically. Let me put on the EMA. Let me make sure I'm on EMAs. So you would be back testing. Now you haven't quite made it up here to your 200. So your 200, according to the EMAs, is going to be right here at this low. Right here at this low. This is a 12. This is a 12 EMA right here. 12, if I'm using it to calculate out the RSI coming back up, this is likely a 40. This is likely a 40. Let's just double check. Yeah. See that? 41. So 12 coming back up, if price action is underneath it and you're coming back into a 12 EMA, you're likely around a 40 on your RSI. All right. And then this white line right here is going to be where your 50 is on your RSI. So you'll know if your RSI is pushing up towards the mean. This will be your mean reversion. Price tends to come back to the mean. So I will be looking for that to be tapped. Whether it happens now or happens, I mean, at some point it's going to come back to it. Just a little education there for you. Just a little, just a little, just a little on your 12 and 26. Okay. So it doesn't look like it's going to reverse from, it doesn't look like it's going to just blast through here. It could consolidate for a while and then try to do something, but no. Let me see. MACD. I know I changed the source code on this, so I probably don't need to look at that right now because the source code is different, which is why you see both of them rising right now, and they don't match with the 12 and 26 because I'm playing around with the source code right now, so it's not going to match how I would generally teach you on the 26, 12 and 26 EMA. But that's where you are right now. Trend line still seeing a bit of a rejection right here at the trend line. And if you're using your EMAs, that's how that's going to go for you. Me, not using the EMAs. I'm using my actual RSI bands right here. So that's where you're at. That's where you're at. All right. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, then I don't. I don't get it. But I'm going to wait for that. Seems more reasonable to me. Seems more reasonable to me. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. For hype. All right, let's go back over here to Biddy. A bitty bitty bamba. Still chopping. Still chopping. Still chopping. Right. That's gonna be the scary part. The scary part. I want to cover something on spy as well. I know what my day is like today, and I know I don't have a lot of time today, and this stream isn't gonna last until 8. Uh, so I have to get back on the road again today. So spy, because I put out a tweet yesterday on spy. It was actually yesterday morning that I did it because I know I didn't stream yesterday. Um, but early yesterday morning, I put out a tweet on my thoughts on spy. Um, I had a calculation going in here for spy, but it did not. We did end up coming back down here and taking out this low. So what I was looking at here, and you can see it right here. This shows up in the tweet as well. Possible the lowest end for the week, but we did swipe it again. You remember in the prior videos, we were saying that this could be resistance and that this could be support right in here. And we bounced off of this lower one right here. This is where we got our reaction from, but we did end up coming back down and sweeping it. I had some other confluence in here for this also, and I was using the daily really when I was looking at this right here because I knew that below this point right here, the daily time frame would start expanding. Well, we held it, so that omitted the expansion from happening, prevented the expansion from happening anyway. But we did come back in and sweep it before getting this little gap up here that you can see right now. So bounced off of the golden pocket yesterday, going into the CPI data, and then rolled it back over, taking that out. So just wanted to share that with you and just let you know I'm still feeling confident enough in this area right here. But since we did take it out, I mean, I have to just say that I was wrong. That's all I can say about that. Looking for a move back up here. Take out this high right here. Not looking for it to go higher than that, but I am looking for something like this because we could still be on the verge of that breakdown. And if that happens, then I would start to look down here towards 7. So likely bypass straight through this, straight through that, because I'm looking for a mean reversion, and that would be to the 700 in here for SPY. Now, how does that affect Bitcoin? I don't know just yet. I'm also looking at a narrative on oil as well, but let's see how this goes. I guess we have to see how oil goes too. Oil is still, and the reason why I'm not putting a lot of weight on oil is because oil is still consolidating. Now we did see a nice reaction off of it when Trump was speaking yesterday, where we saw oil. I think oil took a dip when the rest of the market popped, or whatever day it was. I'm not even sure. It may have been this over here, but oil is still consolidating. I do need to see oil break down. I did share a post on oil, giving a couple of thoughts on it. This is what I have for that as we wait on Bitcoin. Okay, so first of all, let me hide my drawings for a second. I'm gonna put us on the 4-hour. This is straight up consolidation. This is consolidation. This is downwards consolidation right now. Downwards consolidation does have a tendency to break to the upside, but But I was noticing on the weekly time frame for oil that that was the second time that we actually came down towards the mean on the weekly, which could give me a little bit of, you know, bearish bias because we are doing that. So you can see right here, that's the second time that it came down towards this mean here. May have tapped it, especially if you see a wick underneath the candle, it's a good chance that we actually did tap into it. It registers to me right now for a bearish bias of actually breaking down. And then you can see the pattern formation here. Let me put it back over here on the 4, because you can see the pattern. These are all the patterns that we've worked with throughout this entire thing. We call this potential sell off here on crude oil back here early on. And we got that, and we broke into this pattern formation and got that pump up and down and all around. And yesterday I was looking at this channel, and we were seeing some sort of a rejection right here before it got this breakout. But nonetheless, it's been trading in between 87 and 99 here recently. So it is. Hold on, let me turn that off. So this is what it looks like. And the reason I'm confident in this right here versus I've seen it being drawn out before. I think it was a little bit premature before. It was because, yeah, it was a little bit premature before because this is the first time it actually dropped down towards the mean, and that's the second time it dropped down towards the mean. So this would be your pattern formation right here. I haven't checked to see if we have confluence with the Bollinger. Let's just make sure right here that we do, and we're actually tightening to see some sort of a breakup or breakdown. We'll do that now. So we are. I want to see it from a different time frame though. Let's go with the daily. So not too shabby. I would have preferred that the standard deviation 2 was sitting right here, but not too shabby. So you can see the consolidation through here. This would suggest that it could, I mean, if it did, this is only if it did, um, maybe do like a false break towards that 105, because we really haven't been able to reach these levels anymore. These 4 hour levels, these are 4 hour levels. So um, I wouldn't use the 4 hour levels on, I'm losing my voice. I wouldn't use the 4 hour levels on the daily. On the daily, but they work good on the 4 hour and below. So because of the tight range, we've just been being bonging in between those. And like I said again, mainly been dropping down here towards this 87. You can see right here, right here, right here, and back here again. So 87.59. These have remained to be the levels of levels. And I can't remember when I drew these out, but they have lasted for a long time. Every post you see me, you're gonna see these same numbers. I haven't added one, I haven't taken one away. These are the same levels. They've been working. They have been working. But this pattern right here to me looks like it would get a breakdown. I looked at something else in here. What was it? What was it? It wasn't, no, it wasn't that on the daily. Let me see on the weekly. Let me see what the Bollinger looks like. So it could easily come back down into here. And what I was looking at on a drop back down is, you see the little wedging structure in here. All it takes is I mean, momentum. You lose momentum right here on oil, it drops, and then the rest of the market is going to see a pop. The rest of the market is going to see a pop. We get this drop on oil. Now, where does it hit? Maybe back down here towards 75. I'll be looking at this trend line down through here from where oil did get this breakout. I'll be looking for it to come back in and back test across that trend line right there. So you have to add that trend line in here. I may have it. It's just not showing up. Where are you? What is this arrow? So it ain't that. But anyway, it will be this right here. I will look for price action to possibly come back in and back test on this trend line with a breakdown from this pattern right here. What's the breakdown of this pattern right here? I would look for that personally. You can go with the 75, but I would look for that if we were to get it. If we were to get it, we still have to wait for it to happen. As eagerly as I am to see it happen, I don't know. Like I can't say with confidence. I have a probability, and that's because of where we've been dropping at. But that's bullish divs also. So that's still, I mean, that's also a bullish div on the weekly until it's not. So right now I have to classify it as a bullish div because this is sloping downwards. That's sloping upwards. You turn that off. That's a higher low. That's how you look at your divergence right there. And then here is a lower low. So it's squeezing through here. If it breaks up, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Ooh, Bitcoin's trying to pop, pop, pop. Bitcoin's saying no, 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 no. Why I just that's why I said. That's why I said. The bulls are in control on the 15 minute and the 1 hour. Just giving it a try because we are around resistance. Nothing is broken out just yet. Not against that resistance, but Biddy ain't playing right now with the shorts. Biddy's not playing right now with the shorts. Momentum break on the daily time frame. I would like to see this breakdown. That's all I can say about it. But again, right now it does have a little bit of bullish bias down here, as it does retrace back and forth to this mean right here. But it can still break to the downside. Probabilities are higher on the break to the downside right now than they are on a break to the upside. That's why I'm throwing that out there. Those probabilities are higher there. And if you look at the monthly time frame, where we were talking about that top there on the monthly time frame. Take a look at this. Let me turn that triangle off. Let me turn off my pivots. And let's come over here to the monthly. So right about where we topped out at, and let me turn this on, is this. So I did it the best that I could, and I explained that in the post. This is it right here. I had to do it this way to capture it the best. I don't mind drawing one where you cut the wicks out. That's not a problem for me. But right here, you see, I wasn't able to cut this part right here out. And not, I mean, I could have did something like this, and you can still see all the touches from here and that. But I just left it like this. And so when you turn this off right here, you can see this clear range right here for it and where we topped out at. So is it possible that we actually topped out on oil? Is it possible that we topped out right here? There's no way it comes back down here. So don't even worry about that. That's not even a thought in my head. That's not even a thought in my head. Right now I'm looking at this zone through here for a back test of this where price action actually gapped up, but not down here, because that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But like I said, you can move this trend line right here, set it underneath this one. I did it off of the first touch, but it would still work. I just wasn't really sure on it. And then let's see, let's put on the middle. I don't really usually do the middle. I don't usually. Oh, okay. Well, we gonna do it like that. We gonna do it like that. I like it. I like when you make sense, baby. I like when you make sense. So that's what we got. And because I love my circles so much, I just got to do the circles on this. I'm sorry. This is looking too juicy now. It's looking too juicy now. I got to add my circles. I don't care who be talking trash about people drawing circles. I don't care. I guarantee you didn't do this. I guarantee you didn't see this. I like my circles. Do I want to do that one or do this one? Here, I'll do that one. Or I can add another one right there. But you can be mad. Be mad about them circles. But it helps me visually. It does. So you got this situation right here. Could it have topped up here? Possible, possible. And now we got this new structure going on, not visible on the monthly time frame, most certainly visible on the daily, weekly time frame, but definitely from a time frame below the weekly, you can see that structure in here a lot better, closer to seeing a breakdown from it than a breakout. Uh, you know, oh, Bitcoin is pushing. Good Lord, Biddy. Good Lord. But this is what you got over here on oil. So do what you will with that information. Map it out on your chart so you can use it. It's good information. It's good information. It is. So I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take my little parallel right here. I'm gonna put these together right here. All right. My group three. What should I call this right here? Monthly consolidation. That'll work. Put that like that. Lock it down. Turn it off. All right. So put my little triangle back in here, add my little pivots back in here. Again, these pivots are only for the 4 hour time frame. You can tell they're only for the four. They're only for the four. You can play the crap out of these. You can play the crap out of them over here on the 4 hour time frame, but you better not take them anywhere else and try to play them because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I can actually hide this for now. I know what I'm looking at though. I know what I'm looking for. If we were to get a breakdown, if we were to get that breakdown. So let's just turn that off for now and just come back to the standard stuff in here. All right. But strong level, 87.59, strong level. You might wick it a little bit, but like I said, strong level for oil in terms of support. We lose it, we know we breaking. Like we have to lose it. I mean, lost it back here, but that's just a pivot point. That's a pivot point. You lose it now, you're on to something. This is the time where it cannot afford to lose it. Cannot afford to lose it. We'll see. Let me come back over here and take a look at Bitcoin because it is saying hails to the no on this. Are we going to continue to hold this previous day high? I wouldn't be mad about it because we did break that momentum line on the daily, which means we looking up, baby. We looking up. Just trying to figure out where I add to that position because I'm going to have to close one of them out. And tell you what I did. I screwed around the other day when we was like looking at whether it would be a breakup or a breakdown, and we ended up getting the breakdown. I was trying to add initially. I was trying to add onto a long position. I added to my short some more, which brought my short position down. And then finally, I was like, it's really uncertain in terms of the direction. So that's when I added the long position and found the balance in between my profit. Um, oof. Okay. So no, I did not take it. I did not take the long from in here. I can share it with you. What I have happening. So you're gonna see my short is now negative and my long is now positive. And again, I'm gonna cut one. I'm just waiting. I got a little time. to cut one. So that's gonna be the long right here. Cause I just left it going. I did not add to it. I can't add to anything right now. So I'm stuck. But when one is up, the one that's up is the one that's always gonna be in profit. and then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna cut one so you can see the short is now down. But I haven't cut yet. I will cut. On the next pullback, I will cut the short. I will maintain the long and I will add to the long position. And I'm gonna keep it like that until I have some better clarity. Till I have some better clarity. All right, that's just the top side of the volatility range in here for Bitcoin. Hold on, let me see. I don't want to do it like that. That doesn't seem right. Didn't exactly seem right. It's something like that. Let me see about this. Okay. Okay, so there we go. With that, just making sure them lines are right. Ain't nothing worse than having your lines wrong. And I be watching some channels, and I be getting real frustrated when I see when I see them lines get drawn. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It'd be so cringe. It'd be so cringe. And I know you probably get cringe with me too, because I'm always trying to be a perfectionist when it comes to a line. I'm really OCD when it comes to a line. But I be watching some channels and I see them do stuff like, let me turn this magnet off, like this right here, and go descending channel, cut through all the body, and call that a descent, cut through all the bodies and come and somewhere out of the arsenal make it into a false pattern. I hate that. I'm not going to say what channel that is, but every time I see it, it makes me cringe. And then they go head and shoulder. Oh, which is something I wanted to talk to you about. When you're looking at a chart and you're looking at something that resembles a head and shoulder pattern, understand what constitutes as a head and shoulder pattern. Like one key metric you should have for a head and shoulder, and if you're looking for a right shoulder, you need to have divergence. You don't have a head and shoulder pattern unless you have divergence. Why? Because a head and shoulder pattern is a reversal pattern. You need to have divergence. You don't have divergence, stop calling it a head and shoulder. Just because it looks like one doesn't make it one, which is why a lot of times when people are looking at patterns, those patterns fail because you're not drawing them properly. Another thing you can do is you can put on a Bollinger Band and you can look for your volatility range. So if you're drawing out like wedges or anything like that, like you can look to see what your volatility look like so you can confirm whether or not you're tightening in that area and you're going to get a breakup or a breakdown. But when it comes to a head and shoulder formation, if you want to start calling something a head and shoulder, you should have divergence. You should have divergence. You don't get a head and shoulder formation without divergence, because the idea is that when you put in the head, you've already lost momentum. The left shoulder is your greatest piece of volume or momentum. And when you put in your head, you've already lost steam. So then when you put in your shoulder, your right shoulder, your next shoulder, you've lost even more momentum. That's how that works. That's how you confirm if you have a head and shoulder formation. Let's do a good example here. I just wanted to get that because it is a little annoying when everything is being called that and you're getting a false narrative. Let's go with hyperliquid as an example. So here you're looking at this being a left shoulder, this being a head, this being a right shoulder. What you should see is a loss in volume because your biggest volume is going to come right here, which means you should have divergence between this shoulder and that. And that's what causes you to break down from your head, potential head. That's what causes you to break down. And then when you retrace with less volume or still have lower decrease in momentum. So down here, you should see that. So right here, you do have a decrease in your momentum coming up for this to be a head. You do have that. And then on your shoulder, you would have less right here. So let's take a look at the volume aspect. Now, it doesn't guarantee that it plays out. It doesn't. But if you're missing a piece, you're missing this first piece, don't call it a head and shoulder because it's not. It does require a loss of momentum. We put volume on. You don't have you don't have that spike in volume here. You don't have it, which makes it an invalidation. So you don't actually have a head and shoulder formation right here. Technically, you don't. You don't. So looking at this like this, drawing from your head down to here, and then taking this and looking at that for a $35 hyperliquid, you don't have a head and shoulder. Not that that can't happen, not that it can't play out and come back down to the lower of this ascending of this channel, but you don't have a head and shoulder because your volume is increasing, and volume doesn't increase, it decreases. That's how you know you have something that's losing momentum. It should have your highest volume is going to come over here, and your highest peak in momentum is going to come over here. It's going to be in the left shoulder. So just know that for yourself. So when you hear people talking about it, you don't get caught up in the narrative. Please don't get caught up in the narrative. And then you thinking you got something on hand and it doesn't work out for you. It doesn't play out for you because it's not there. It's not there. Yeah, we're just squeezing right here, right now. We're just squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. We know we're squeezing because we're putting in lower lows on the oscillator, higher lows in price action. We're squeezing. Even the structure is choppy. So you can see it right here underneath the lower lows and oscillator. It keeps thrusting price up. So as we're hitting the resistance in here, we'll keep seeing the little rejections in here. But until we actually break, we might have to break. Let me see where it is. Yeah, I have to break here. About 62,781. 62,781. That's a nice little wing over here. Nice little bird feather over here. Nice little bird feather. So we keep hanging on to, let me see where we keep popping. We keep popping around this one. And it's okay to wait. Sometimes it's okay to wait to say you need to see an actual breakdown below here. And this is sitting directly on top of this. It's right here. Let me turn this on. Right here. It might just wick it. It might just wick it. And if it does that, then I mean, I know that it can go there based on the volatility that we were looking at on the 4-hour time frame. It does suggest that price action can come up and take out the 60. What was that? That high can come in and take out this high right here as we push up towards our trend line in here. As we push up towards it, with 47 minutes left on the 4-hour time frame, and we're starting to break through that resistance now. Really good, like really good, like really good. Got an elephant candle, elephant trunk candle right now. The shave bottom, shave top, right about now. So yeah, the shave bottom right here too. Hmm. Yeah, we could look for a swing failure. Um, could look for a swing failure. I'm not adding to my short. I know that much. Take that away. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't add any music. It's just kind of silent, 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 silent. Let me add a little chill. Chill. I need to get a playlist. I really do. I've been using this these genres. These these genres that the platform has been offering. And I need to actually get a playlist or something a little bit better. What we have in the quarantine, put a question in here. Are you jumping in on the SpaceX IPO this Friday? So if you don't know about the SpaceX IPO and you want to get in, you can put in a request. The three platforms that I actually don't require you to have a defined, well, you don't have to have an account balance. So there's no account balance required. It's going to be Robinhood. No minimum account balance required on Robinhood if you wanted to try and get in on the SpaceX IPO. SoFi is another one with no minimum account balance required, and also E-Trade has no minimum account balance required if you're looking to get in on the SpaceX IPO. If you do get in on the SpaceX IPO, I would not go in full capital. Get your toes wet. Get your toes wet if you can, because you're and there's no guarantee, even though you're requesting, there is no guarantee that you'll actually get in. But if you do get in, only get your toes wet and keep dry powder on the side for a large retracement at some point. I don't doubt that it's gonna pop immediately. And then at some point, maybe over the year span, you start to see it fall off before continuing back up. But definitely get your feet wet. Those are the 3 that don't require a minimum account balance. If you do Fidelity, Fidelity is a brokerage, and they do require $2,000 or more if you do Fidelity. And if you do Charles Schwab, then you have to have a minimum of 100,000. So if you're in those 2 brackets there for Charles Schwab and Fidelity, then that's your route. If you just have a minimum that, you don't have, if you can't meet those 2, or you just don't wanna meet those 2, then E-Trade, SoFi, and Robinhood is gonna be the way to go for you, okay? Another thing has been this narrative that, liquidity is being sucked out of AI and Bitcoin and going into the SpaceX IPO. If not, they're just waiting for it to hit the market. That's been the narrative. I've heard it everywhere. I've heard it everywhere. Now, I have admittedly said it for Tesla stock, but for Tesla stock alone, I haven't said that that was the case for anything other than Tesla because I don't know that to be true. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. It's an opinion. Even for me, it's an opinion. It's not a fact that that's what's happening. Speaking of which, we got the Fed meeting next week, 16th, 17th, Kevin Walsh. So markets are bracing for that and for a hawkish tone. Markets are bracing for that as well. We'll get more into that next week. Of course, the conflict continues between Iran, U.S., and Israel. Okay, so that conflict is continuing, and that has been creating a flight to safety. So it's been keeping the U.S. dollar elevated. We'll take a look at the dollar today, DXY, see what we're looking like. There was some panic selling in super micro computers, so SMCI. There's that, and then there's also MU and Broadcom, okay? So, um, I I doubt that I'm gonna have a lot of time to cover those. Maybe I can come back later on and do something. I can take a look at 'em. I really hate to do it while today is really I'm just trying to stay here with you on Bitcoin more than anything. I did take a look at the SPY, and I did take a look at oil. Those can have some bearing. I don't give it a lot of weight. Not right now, I don't. Um but they have had some bearing on the price of Bitcoin, which is why, I covered those again, and I will continue to do those when I do Bitcoin. I don't know if I can get into, SMCI, Supermicro Computer, or Micron right now, or Oracle, or Adobe, which Adobe is reporting today. Adobe is reporting today, and the SpaceX IPO is Friday. Friday. So, oh, man, I wish. I gotta get on this road today in a little bit. So, I really wish I could get into those. Actually, let's just take a peekaboo. Let's just take a peekaboo at, take a peekaboo at, um, let's do MSCI. Not that. Sorry, I said MSCI. SMCI, my bad. Hey, hold on, I got some lines in here somewhere. I know I got some lines in here somewhere. Somewhere. Hold on, I can't see my levels because I'm on such a low time frame, and these levels are pulled out quite extensively. So 28.97. That's what we've been holding the fort down here at these prior lows right here, these prior lows right here, filling in the gap right here, prior lows right here, being sustained right here at this low in here right now. It's holding pre-market 29.25, okay, 29.25, 29.24, up and on 24 hour. We can see it's a lot better. So holding up right in here. So you're around support in here for super micro, super micro computer. You're around support level right in here. Look for this to hold. Definitely broke through whatever trend we had going on down through here. So whatever trend we had going on down through here, that was broken in this sell-off. Let me take a look down here and see what we look like on the oscillator. The oscillator. All right. Looks like nope, not through there. Unfortunately, nope. Nope, 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 nope. Let me see if we're rejecting off of that trend that we broke. Do it like this. Actually do that. Yeah, just slightly up under there. The initial point where you break through is really like your best opportunity to TP if you were somebody that did something like this. I don't know if I know I haven't looked at this and given you any price targets on it. I know that much is true. But that seems to be a rejection point right now. Won't show up that way on the lower time frame. It just looks like it just absolutely doing something different on the or to zoom out on this. Oh no, 4 hour, still giving you the same vibes. Still giving you the same vibes. Looks like it could be a bottoming. You could have bottomed right here. Once you start to close back above here, I think you're looking a lot better. Maybe even for a push back up here towards. Let me just click on that so I can tell you 38.24. Maybe for a push back up here into 38.24 right there. Uh, super microcomputer. Yeah, you're definitely looking for a break to the upside though. You can see that. You wanna look to break your momentum to the upside on the block. But then you're gonna put in a bear div and you're gonna look for another drop down. So maybe your best I mean you can try for the upside first and then Um, check the situation. If it does push up, I think I would lean towards that 38.24, something like that. You got this resistance over here from earlier, but yeah, you do got that. Seems like a good one too. Let's bring that down. 35.20. Yeah, let's bring that down. It shouldn't be too easy to just get through here. It was a trouble zone. You can see how it's reacting around this one right here already. This one. But it is looking to break up. It is looking to do that. The other alternative would be, I mean, because we don't know if I don't know if you want to do something like this before market opens or anything, but once market opens, if it doesn't manage to hold that 28.97, I would look for something like this 23.97. I think you're already hitting like your 200, maybe. I'm gonna use the yeah, you are. Oh, actually, no, let me not do that one. Even though that's still a 200, you can see that right there. That is a 200. Put on the EMAs. I'm sorry. Put on the EMA. Yeah, you're already all the way down below that already, because that's going to be through here. You're already below it here. I don't really. Sometimes, I mean, just depends on. Let me see if this looks different. If I was using this one right here. No, this looks pretty much the same right now. But that was a 200 what you were looking at, the first set of ribbons, that was a 200 right here. So you really wanna hold this right here. You hold this, you will be coming back up. And again, you saw where you were, over here you saw where you were when you popped into here. I would look for something, well, look for this wick to get filled or look for price action to come back into here, about 35.20. Um, just these 3 levels right here, but most certainly should have some sort of a reaction around that 35.20 for sure. If you eat up this wick and you start to push in with another candle, yeah. Otherwise, you just eat the wick up back into that. But definitely at some sort of a support level. Only other thing for me would be, momentum. That little green dot down here, so you are a bit extended. You are a bit extended, and you are looking for this to pop back up. You are. You're looking for this to pop back up because you are. It is showing that you are a bit extended in here. You are a bit extended right in here. You are a bit extended right in here, and you were a bit extended right in here. So, yeah, you are extended a bit in here as you hit this support level for super microcomputer. I hate to not be able to give you a actual on target. If I was playing with it, I would be looking at the shortest place ever, and that would have been 32.50 for myself personally. Um, because stocks don't move as fast as crypto, or I mean, these days it does. These days it does. But I would be looking for a bare minimum just to keep it conservative. If I was trading it, I would be looking for the bare minimum. Be looking for that wick to get filled, to be honest. To the upside, to the downside, I'd be looking for that 23.95. I think by the time it does something like that, then you're really, really overextending on your momentum. But I can tell it's looking to pop up. It's looking to curve to the upside. Then there's MU. I think I have levels on MU. I do. Right, so MU, I had only been watching that Golden Pocket 786 retracement, and we were talking about MU and the fact that when MU has been pulling back, it's only been doing about this bare minimum right here, coming back into a 382 50% retracement, 382 50%, which it didn't even tap on that one, and then again 382 50% retracement in here. So we were last looking at it, it had not, I don't think it had turned back down in here just yet, but it loses that, then the gap fill back into the ascending trend line is what I'll be looking for on Micron, if it loses this, but it's still bullish consolidation right here, some sort of a triangle formation you can see right here. some sort of a triangular formation, um, right through here. Don't really have clean touch points down here, so I don't know how I would do that. I would just look at the top line. I can't tell you that you have a low, outside of this right here. This would have to remain the low point for me, but you can draw a trend line across your tops in here. Um, it seems to be more fluent, there than anything down here. You really don't have any structure down here in the lows. Nope, you really don't. So just that, and this flow down here is what I would look for if you lose it, but right now it's still holding tight. This consolidation at this 382, 50% retracement looking pretty still looks decent to me. There it does. It still looks decent to me there. Would I touch it even though it's at this thing at 250? I probably wouldn't. I know me, and I know I probably wouldn't, and I would be waiting for it to come down and back test this trend line before I wanted to touch it. But that does mean losing the 382, 50% retracement, which is all it had been doing. So, I mean, no need in getting bearish. If that's what it was doing here, that's what it was doing there, and that's what it was doing there. Mm, neutral. Yeah, continuing to show some strength. Continues to show strength. Continuation. The upside likely. Could be very likely. I'm not playing with Micron. I don't invest like that. So, um, and it's at highs, so it's not something that I would touch personally. Just figured out to talk about it because it, it is been, it is in question if this valuation for it is, is it real? Like, is this a real evaluation for it? 900 and something dollars, 1,000 bucks? Like, is this real? Like, is this what the sentiment truly is around Micron? Did I see any divergences in here? Yeah, slight divergence in here off the highs, in here off the 4-hour time frame, off the daily. You also have slight bear divs in here off the daily also. Um, between that high and that high there. Uh, on the weekly, I mean, that pattern formation right there, that pattern formation right there, that finger, that bird finger right there, ew, that bird finger, personally, yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I'm not willing to touch it. But I can tell you where your lights go out at. on this time frame on the weekly. Um, oh yeah, you far from the lights going out over here on the weekly. You far from the lights going out. That's all the way down here. Now, I'm surprised I don't see anything up here. Would expect it to have seen something up here because to me it looked like it did. Yeah, you would have to be all the way down here to get some lights out, which is too far away. If I do this one, yeah, you're still hanging on to it. So losing this is really like your like that's your point. That's your point. You see how we rolled all the way back up above it? At 887.29. Because you're too far away from this over here. Um, you're too far away from that. Back above that already. And you just really got to break down from that 38250. Really, really. It's been moving way too strong around to it behind around the 38250% retracement. It's just been moving way too strong around this. You gotta drop that. You gotta lose that. I would continue to look to short it. I would continue to look to short. It's 618 right here, 1.618 fib extension, and then this is the 2 extension. The only thing you're at risk of is right now. I think when I did, actually, let me see. Yeah, that wouldn't even work for me. And then the 1.618, so good. Yeah, that didn't even work for me. I remember looking at this. I do the yep, nah, that didn't even work. Let me get that off. Ooh, yeah, I would. If they're questioning the evaluation, that means they're selling. Let me check something else on this. Check, let me check. See right here. What any? Let's see, just over here on the ninth. Let me see what I got in here. That's not anything to look at. Um, and there has been some disposal. I think we covered that at one point already because there was some disposal. But that all happened around here where you see this divergence at. That all happened around here. Actually, um, that disposal happened around here. So that's probably why you can see the divergence in here too. That disposal happened around here. That's usually where institutional money starts offloading on you. And then when you see that divergence, that's retail stumbling in. So you got that lack of momentum because retail really can't fight institutional money saying goodbye to it, and then retail starts FOMOing in. Yeah, short will be my narrative. Like I said, especially if they're questioning the evaluation on it, they're selling it, more likely selling it anyway. Bitcoin, Bitcoin and this squeeze. And this squeeze. Hmm. I have to push this up. Getting closer and closer to the top right here. Hmm. You can really see the squeeze. Again, we talked about that part right there, but right here, you see this, and you can see how it's up, down, that white, green, white, green, white, green right here as they squeeze it, and your MACD continues to elevate. Once MACD actually turns another color, then they're in agreement, and this is coming inching closer and closer towards the zero line. Uh, right in here. See that? I don't know if it's going to happen before we take out the liquidity at the top, or I mean, obviously we're in the process of it, but it's actually just continuing to ground high and higher through here right now. Chop, 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 chop. Mm-hmm. And pay attention to this little flag in here, whatever that is. And I don't like zooming out on the lower time frames like that. Really don't. Um, 1 to 1 right there. So 1 to 1 right there, which means this was probably like a 382 retracement. You just turn off that. It's probably like a 382 retracement. Well, let me do it from this low. 50, 50 right there. Almost tapping into that. Let's see. I don't like going down this low. I really don't. But there was this little structure up here. Why is itchy? Mm, 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 mm. I should have set this underneath. Mm, should have set it underneath. But when I went in for the example, that was the example. If you were taking it from there, then your stop would have to go up there. Assuming that we don't take that out right now, as we're hitting the resistance, looking for a drop back in. Yeah, I should have still set it down there um, below that ribbon. Should have set it below there still. Again, this is not a trade that I'm in. I'm already holding a short and a long, and I need to find out which one is wrong. So the long is what I'm looking for, which is why I even bothered to open it because I'm bullish at support down below. But because we were still moving it bearishly, I'm slowing it until, but not in this actual one right here, just for transparency. Although I think it's doable. It's probably not the best execution um, because we continue to squeeze up in between in this consolidation range. Possible sweep of that liquidity at the top side. And I will only be looking for a minor pullback before continuation to the upside, especially if we can validate that break in momentum on that daily the close today. Hopefully that is our case. Hopefully that is our case. So if you are on the sideline, that's fine. I know I probably won't be here. Um, I probably won't be here. So let's do this. Because I was watching this low in here, and that's 62,909, which we've managed to actually defeat if you're looking at it from here. We weren't defeating it at first. We were actually just um, dangling around it right here. Still some sort of chop around this top end right now. Still some sort of chop, even though we are squeezing higher. The 1 hour is looking for a correction. I can see that. The 1 hour is looking for it. So whether it happens without invalidating that short or not, it could. Um, but the other thing to do would be to wait for this liquidity right here to be taken. Wait to see how you react off of that liquidity being taken. Because if it fails right here, if it just keeps pushing through instead of getting the reaction, then you open the chances that it does the 64 up here for this liquidity, which seems like the base case on the 4 hour time frame. Just the 1 hour is screaming to me some exhaustion. 1 hour is screaming some exhaustion. Um, it's not playing out just yet. It's not playing out just yet. So seeing how we managed to push up and close in there. So it's not playing out just yet. I like to hang on to this just in case it does something later. Let me see. Man, I'd be directly into this. I don't know about you, Biddy. Don't know. I just know you have to take a chance somewhere. That's all I know. You have to take a chance somewhere. Take a look at liquidity heat map. I mean, it's not a surprise here. Obviously, it's not a surprise on that liquidity that sits there. That's what we're talking about right now is that liquidity right there. So that's not surprising. I mean, you can see it on the chart. That's where your liquidity is at areas where you reject. So um, it's not parallel. That's what I can tell. It's not parallel. I'm about to make a parallel though. Let me just leave it like that. Let me just make everything else at P. So either waiting on a reaction around this top side here with the liquidity, fail and come back inside of this pattern, or or we're gonna take this equal high. That or we could take that equal high. Because unfortunately we did manage to break through here, unfortunately. Even though it's squeezing, like you can see the relative weakness in here right now off of these highs. Can't see it from here because RSI still looks it's still rising here, but you can tell it again. You can tell it from here. Like you can see that decline, that chop consolidation right here, chop consolidation. Uh, just trying to see a few more wicks up here. You see that? See that little flag? The little flag right here? So, yeah, this could be doing something like, you can see, like, for example, right here. This isn't perfect. I'm sorry. This isn't perfect because I don't have the magnet on. Just see the vision for now. please. That way I don't sit here and get OCD on drawing out these trend lines. You can see the breaks through here. Trying not to have it. Trying not to have it. OCD right here. You can see these little breakups every time in this triangle formation. I'm sorry, this channel, rising channel right here. Break, break, break. Send it down, please. Please, by all means. By all means. You can do it right here too on this. You can't actually do it on this one, it doesn't seem. Maybe. Maybe. I know that it's chopping that, volatility range here on this time frame, just on this 15-minute time frame, um, right here. Was it that one? Was it? I did this rise. Yeah, it rose up a little bit. It rose up a little bit, because it was. I could see it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe I'm using something different. No, I'm not. It's just showing up different. This is that's because 'cause I'm on a 5 minute. I'm sorry. Move off of that 5 minute. Let me drop that. I was on the 5 minute, which makes sense. I would go back to that 5 minute and watch that 5 minute then. 5 minute did give me a little bit more details. I don't care for a 5, but you see those little wicks up there, those highways, high tides right there, whatever. But, what I was saying is right here, this is the stretch right here. This is the stretch right in here. Mm. But yeah, your 5 minute might do you some good. It is 7:58. I gotta get ready to roll up out of here. Really appreciate you. I did not look at chat not one single time, so I do okay, so we're good on that. I know most people don't speak, don't talk, and that's cool. Um, it's like that in real life with me too. It is like that in real life with me too. See me people exaggerate my height. You see me, you be like, "God dang, how tall are you? Did you play basketball? Did you model? What are you? Are you 6'3"? Are you 6 feet?" In heels, yeah. In heels, I'm definitely somewhere around 6'2", 6'3". But I'm actually just all legs. All legs. I'm a tall gal. Tall gal. Tall women tend to intimidate people. Come on, Betty. We're starting to see some reaction off of that 1 hour I was talking about, right here. You see, we got that doji, and we're starting to put in a little bit more color as we're getting closer in here with our rejection. Swing fail right here so far. holding down, holding down, holding down. Uh, so watch this parallel channel in here. I'm actually not looking for price action to come back down into here or do anything like that. As far as I'm concerned, if we're gonna get this anyway, if we're gonna get it, because I don't know, then I'm gonna be away from the chart, so I won't see it. Could I would rather it not touch it. On a pullback, this would be nice somewhere around this 50. You got this gap in here, so a feel of this inefficiency in here. That would be great to just do something like that. Maybe even back here to back test our support level that was in here, where the golden pocket is sitting at. That's actually pretty pretty right there. You just want to wait and see if you get a reaction. If they give this to us right here, if they give this to us right here for a pushback down to the downside before market opens. And then, let's see, we have calendar here. What we got today? What we got today? We have PPI at 8:30. Okay, so yeah, got PPI at 8:30. PPI coming up here the next 30 minutes, next 28 minutes now. So there's that. It's already showing that we could expect a pullback coming into it. So could be confirming on that. If not, again, look for the swing fails in here. Just look for the reaction. Do not limit order in. Get the reaction and be prepared to cut it if it invalidates you, okay? That's all I can tell you about that. I gotta get out of here. Love you and appreciate you, and I will see you if if something looks good enough for later today, I will come back on, but if not, I'll see you in the morning. Peace out.